Sex Talk with Erika Miley. 'Cause sexuality is tough. And okay, sex just isn't good enough, no. Sex Talk with Erika Miley.
Hey folks, welcome to Sex Talk with Erika Miley. Erika Miley here. Glad to be with you all. I want to talk about in this episode butt stuff. Yet again, butt stuff number 2. My first episode on butt stuff. I didn't foresee it as being the most popular episode that I have ever done, but it is across the world. So butt stuff number 1, over and over and over again, the many months I've been doing this, keeps coming up as y'all's favorite topic. So I thought, you know what? Okay, let's keep talking about this. And I do think there are some reasons why that is the case. I think many of us are curious about butt stuff, but are really, really scared to talk about it, really scared to ask about it. Or you've had partners ask you for it, or pressure you for it, or you've had a bad experience. And it just seems that couldn't be all there is, right? Like those experiences couldn't be all there is. What's the big deal with the butt? So the reason there's a big deal with the butt is because guess what? We have a shit ton of nerve endings in the butt, super packed with nerve endings, and you can orgasm just from anal play. So I do want to start by saying this, like there is some like little biology thingies to know. Biology thingies. Not all anuses look the same first from the outside. Butts can vastly differ from color to hair to lots of different things. It's important to know that too, because just like any other form of genitalia, it can all look different and there isn't one particular way it is supposed to look. And you might even run across people who do things to their butt, like bleach it. That is also a possibility, which I don't recommend. But you're going to run across, if you are having multiple sexual partners, you're going to run across vastly different types of genitalia and butts. So it's important to know that. Something to also know about the butt that I did talk a little bit about in the first episode I did about the butt is that there are 2 sphincters, one that you control and one that is connected to the autonomic nervous system, that it takes some practice to learn how to loosen, and not necessarily loosen like it will get loose, but relax. It takes some practice to even acknowledge to understand that where it is on your body and understand how your body specifically reacts. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot. So these are things that I wanted to approach this episode as things that you can do as prep. And I'm also going to give you some really fabulous resources because I went on the hunt. Seeing all these numbers, how popular my first butt stuff episode was, I went on the hunt and I'm like, okay, I need to give you all some really good resources. So I found a couple YouTube videos that I feel are super helpful, step-by-step, information-loaded YouTube videos that I'm going to actually put in the show notes so that you can really, I mean, you're going to hear some of that information here, but I really want you to be able to go back and listen to it a couple times, just so that if you want to walk down the road of butt stuff, that you really feel prepared. So do these things as prep. First and foremost, I want you to get your vaccines. Vaccines are important, people, especially for sexual activity. Hep A and HPV both have vaccines, and they can completely protect you not 100% protect you, but protect you from dealing with genital warts or certain types of cancers. And so I just encourage you, do some research, look at the Hep A and the HPV vaccines. Both are super clinically indicated. Take a look, go get them. Both are generally good for life, period, but especially for sexual activity. Next, STI testing results. Get those in your hot little hand. Anal sex is the highest risk for HIV transmission because of anatomy, not because of gender, not because of sexual orientation, not because of what genitals you have. It is because of anatomy. The tissue of the anus is fragile. So it can be easily torn, and it is also fairly absorbent. So it's good to remember what our friend Sue Johansson said. So for those of you who do not know, that's how I got into this. I loved Sue Johansson's show back in the day on Oxygen Network. She used to talk about anal sex. She used to say gently Bentley for this very reason, that the anal tissue is fragile. So keep that in mind. Next, grab your favorite lube and use it liberally. This part of your body is not a lubricant creator. This part of your body needs a lot of lubrication, especially so that you do not have to experience pain, if that's something you do not want to experience. So I encourage folks to use thicker lubricants. So finding one that works for you, that is body safe, is really important. First, maybe a silicone lube might be helpful to you, or even a really thick water-based lube would be helpful. The one I suggest is Sliquid's silver silicone-based lube. I'll make sure that there's a link in the show notes so that you can find it fairly easily. Again, find one that you like, also that's body safe. Next, again, gloves and condoms can be really helpful and safe way to enjoy the butt stuff. So the reason that is that gloves can help you explore this area of your body even on your own without some of those like rough edges that your fingers can have or fingernails can have. And it also allows you to not get any feces on your hands. People often freak out about anal sex because of poop. Let's be real here, folks. That can really, especially the first time you ever experience that can really, really scare some folks. So a good thing to use is gloves. Also, an option can be a condom, or they also make finger condoms. I don't know if you've ever seen those. They look like glove fingers cut off that are just made specifically for your fingers. So keep yourself as clean as you need to. Grab those gloves and condoms, and it just can really help your enjoyment. Next, try some time with yourself to get comfortable. Now, what I mean by this is the next time you're in the shower with some soap or a little bit of suds, start to explore the anus, only on the outside, just so that you can start to get familiar with your own body. This can really help reduce the fear factor that you might have as well. If you start to understand and explore your own body, when you want to do this with someone else, you'll have a much better understanding of what hurts or what feels good or what these nerve endings actually feel like. So next time you're in the shower, give yourself a little opportunity, and over time, the more that you do this, it'll become like any other body part that you would be willing to explore. So give it a try on your own. Last but not least, when you walk down this path, start small. Start with fingers and small toys that have a base or a wire, so they don't get lost. So something I've actually listened to a couple different podcasts that actually discuss this in particular. One of the things that like ERs see quite often is people getting things stuck up in their anus. And it's often things like light bulbs, other toys, food like zucchinis. ER folks, bless them. They deal with our sex injuries all the time. So start small and use a toy that is meant for anal play. Quick break from the action, folks. Action. I just want to tell you about my Patreon. Every week, I bring you guests and seriously, lots of sex nerdery. Help me keep doing that by becoming a supporter. What do you get in return? Cool perks. For real. I am going to be doing shout outs, stickers, a bunch of stuff. So check it out at erikamiley.com/Patreon. That's ERIKAMILEY.com/Patreon. I hope to see you and see more of you by becoming a Patreon. Thanks, guys. I would also suggest taking a look at Lilo. Lilo has some really wonderful options. I'm going to drop a link in the show notes so that you can take a look. Find a toy that you can be comfortable with and start small. You don't have to go for the biggest toy around. Start with something that's maybe the size of a finger, maybe even size of a bowel movement. I mean, sometimes we don't think to use our own body as data, but here's the deal. You have some data already accessible to you in your bowel movements. I know I'm going to lose a lot of people here with this, but here's the deal. Like, your body, when it has a bowel movement, will stretch to a certain size that you will be comfortable with. I mean, there are those days that, we all have those days when we're on the toilet and it is a mess, but sorry, I couldn't even help myself. I really want you to understand that it's okay to be curious about what your body is already doing. So use that information to your advantage and maybe look for a toy that would fit you. You don't have to compete with anyone. This is all about you and your comfort. So again, get those vaccines. Get that STI testing results. Grab your favorite lube. Gloves and condoms are your friends. Try some time on your own just so that you can get comfortable. In the shower is a great option. And start small. Start with fingers, small toys. This is a really, really good place to begin. If you all have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Erika at erikamiley.com. You can also hit me up on any of the socials. I'm on Instagram, Erika Miley Therapy. I'm in all the places. Also, check out the YouTube page. I am adding more and more to the YouTube channel. You can find Sex Talk with Erika Miley there. I have added all of the podcast episodes there, but also I'm going to be adding more and more content. So like short videos, like I'm going to add some of the Patreon information there. So that being said, check out my Patreon. I would love for you to join. I'm going to be offering special little goodies just to my Patreon subscribers. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening, folks. Please rate and review on iTunes. That helps this podcast get found. If you leave a 5-star review, let me know about it on any social media, and I'll shout you out on the podcast. You can find my website at erikamiley.com. You can find me on Facebook, the Gram, and Twitter. See y'all next time.